Welcome back to my YouTube channel, English Warrior, Learn, Unlearn and Relearn. Dear learners, today we are going to learn other types of phrases. I already posted my videos on word classes, the noun phrase and the verb phrase, the open word classes, the closed word system, the structure of noun phrase, the function of noun phrase, the verb phrase, the types of verb phrase, the structure of finite verb phrase, the structure of non-finite verb phrase, the dimensions of verb phrase, tense, aspect, mood and voice. I request you all to watch my earlier videos. The link of the earlier videos I have given in the description box so that your concepts of all the phrases may get clear. Now we will move towards the other types of phrases, that is adjective phrase, adverb phrase and the prepositional phrase. Let us study adjective phrase, its form and function. The structure of the adjective phrase. An adjective phrase has an adjective as its head. This adjective may be both pre-modification or pre-modified and post-modified. The pre-modification is done by an adverb only. This adverb intensifies the meaning of the adjective and is hence called an intensifier. For example, very happy, quite right, extremely interesting, disgustingly poor. Now we will try to understand the structure of the adjective phrase with the help of this tree diagram. As I already told you that in adjective phrase, adjective is the head, and in pre-modification, modifier, that is intensifier. The post-modification, also called the complement of the adjective, may be illustrated thus: adjective plus prepositional phrase. For example, very anxious about father's health. Here, dear learners, first you have to identify the phrase. Which type of phrase is this? Very anxious about father's health. It is adjective phrase. So, who is the head in the adjective phrase? Adjective is the head and anxious is the adjective. In modifier, intensifier, adverb, very. In post modification, it is prepositional phrase about father's health. About father's health is the prepositional phrase. The second type of post modification is adjective plus infinitive clause. Here, very anxious to please all. In this example, anxious is the head adjective. In modifier, intensifier, adverb, very. In post modification, to please all, it is infinitive clause and that is to infinitive clause. The third type of post modification is adjective plus that clause. Very anxious that none pass the examination. It is adjective phrase, head adjective, anxious, pre-modifier, intensifier, adverb, very. And in post modification, it is that clause, that none pass the examination. Now we will move towards the functions of the adjective phrase. Adjective phrases have two functions or two uses. Number one, attributive, and number second, predicative. The attributive function is when the adjective phrase is a part of the pre-modification in an NP. Dear learners, I repeat, attributive function is when the adjective phrase is a part of the pre-modification or in an NP. For example, a very interesting story, it is a noun phrase. And here, adjective phrase, the underlined word, very interesting, it is adjective phrase used attributively. The second type, an adjective phrase is predicatively used if it is used as a complement. I repeat, if it is used as a complement, it is the predicative use. For example, he felt very happy. It sounds very odd. The story was very interesting. In all these underlined examples, very happy, very odd, very interesting, it is adjective phrase used predicatively. Dear learners, now we will move towards the next phrase, that is adverb phrase. Let us study the adverb phrase, its form and function. First, we will try to understand the structure of the adverb phrase. An adverb phrase has an adverb as its head. An adverb may be modified adverb or an intensifier in an adverb phrase by another. An adverb phrase functions as an adverbial in the clause structure. Dear learners, remember that an adverb phrase functions as adverbial in the sentence. For example, very fast, amazingly well, quite smoothly, horribly fast. Dear learners, we will try to understand with the help of the tree diagram. Very fast. Which type of phrase is this? First, we have to identify the type of the phrase. It is adverb phrase, very fast. So adverb phrase, head. Who is the head in the adverb phrase? Adverb, fast. Modifier, intensifier, adverb, very, horribly fast. This is the second example of adverb phrase. First, you have to identify phrase, adverb phrase. Who is the head in the adverb phrase? Head, H stands for head. Adverb, fast. M means modifier, intensifier, adverb, horrible. Dear learners, please note that there is no post modification in the structure of the adverb phrase. There is only pre modification. There is no post modification in the structure of the adverb phrase. The functions of the adverb phrase functions or uses of the adverb phrases are just those of the adverbs as dealt with the earlier in the discussion of the adverbs. To repeat, they are adjunct, conjunct and disjunct. For example, adjunct, very soon, right here, rather noisily. As conjunct, therefore, besides, etc. As disjunct, for example, frankly, surprisingly enough. Now we will move towards the last type of phrase, that is prepositional phrase. Let us study the prepositional phrase, its form and function. First, we will try to understand the structure of the prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase is unlike any other type of phrase. It does not have a head. There is no head in the prepositional phrase. In other words, it is a non-headed phrase, means it is composed of a preposition and a noun phrase. Both the preposition plus noun phrase are obligatory, are compulsory. For example, in the college. Here, in is preposition plus the college is the noun phrase. After the function, after is preposition plus the function is. Now we will try to understand with the help of this tree diagram in the college. Dear learners, I would like to remind you all that first we have to identify the phrase. In the college is a prepositional phrase, right? So prepositional phrase, how will you analyze prepositional phrase? Preposition in and NP, determiner, article, definite article, the, head is, noun, college. Now we will move towards the functions of the prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrases have a relational role which may be in terms of space and time. There are two functions of prepositional phrases. Number one, the prepositional phrases can represent circumstantial information about an action, process, or an event, indicating time, place, manner, and reason. They function as adverbial in a clause. Dear learners, I repeat, prepositional phrases function as adverbial in the sentence. For example, he is in the room. Here he, subject is verb. In the room, what is in the room? It is prepositional phrase, and here in the room is adverbial. The second type, the prepositional phrases can follow particular verbs and adjectives and sometimes nouns. They function as an object or complement in a clause. Dear learners, I repeat, the second type of prepositional phrase functions as an object or complement. For example, in this example, he has an anxiety about his success. About his success is a prepositional phrase, and here prepositional phrase functions as complement. Here are some questions which are given for your practice. I request you all to practice these questions, and if you are able to answer all these questions, we have learned something. We have learned whatever I have taught in this video. And if you are not able to answer these questions, then I request you all to watch this video again and again so that you can answer these questions. For example, the first question, give the structure of the adjective phrase. Number second, explain and illustrate the two functions of the adjective phrase. Number third, define an adverb phrase and give examples of adverb phrase. The fourth question, what are the functions of the adverb phrase? Number 5, in what way does the prepositional phrase differ from the other types of phrases? Number 6, what are the two different functions of the prepositional phrases? Number 7, identify and analyze the phrases in the following, drawing tree diagrams for each. Dear learners, you have to draw tree diagram. First, you have to identify the phrases and then analyze it, drawing the tree diagrams. For example, rather too difficult for comprehension, extremely unlikely, very interesting indeed, very slowly, fairly handsome, on the campus of the college, at the top of his voice, quite late, horribly wicked, surprisingly well. And the last type of question is identify the adjective phrase, the adverb phrase, and the prepositional phrase in the following sentences. Also attempt their analysis, giving their functions. It looks very interesting. Surprisingly, he has secured first class. How can they be certain of our favorable response? It's rather a baffling interpretation of the poem. In recent years, I have not seen him. Dear learners, with this, I would like to stop here. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, feel free to post them in the comment box, or you can directly mail me. I have given you my email ID in the description box so that you can give me any suggestions. You can ask me any questions so that I will try my level best to answer them. With this, I would like to conclude here. I request you all, please subscribe so that you may get the notification of my future videos. Please like, subscribe, and share among your friends, among your students and learners of English. With this, I would like to conclude. Thank you one and all for sparing your valuable time with me. Thank you one and all. Thank you.